And you are very welcome to our Sunday online breathing space. My name is Marie, and I'm a teacher here at Breathing Space, and I am also one half of the Exhale Awakening. And somewhere on your screen, right now, she's there for me, is Sharyn, who is also a teacher with Breathing Space and the other half of the Exhale Awakening. And we are leading the session today. Now, in the social media, it said Chelsea was going to be leading the session, but unfortunately, Chelsea's sick. So we are going to guide you through the session today. We are going to, the session is going to be the shape, the structure that we generally do on our Wednesday evening. We have a free session on a Wednesday evening. So it's going to be that general shape. So what we do is we lead you through 4 different breath styles. And before each breath style, we'll have some birdsong. And after each breath style, we'll have some silence. And the breaths that we are leading today are, we're going to start with some breath awareness. And then we're going to do some sighing. After that, we're going to do some very gentle nose CCB. And we're going to finish with coherence. Now, you don't have to remember that. We will guide you through each one. That's just for people who are like me and who like to know before they start what exactly is going to happen. We have one rule at the Exhale Awakening, and that is that you're comfortable. So we invite you to do whatever you need to do to take care of your own physical comfort. We also, and if during the session, if that means that maybe you need to move or to adjust, please feel free to do whatever you need to look after your physical comfort. The one thing we would ask you don't do is stand up quickly, because when we do any sort of conscious breathing, it can cause us to become lightheaded. And if you stand up quickly, it can be dangerous. So just for your own safety, if you do, because you're at home, if you do have to, for some reason, get up, just bring your breathing back to its natural rhythm and give it a few seconds before you get up. Also, make sure you have maybe a blanket or a jumper or something that you can use if you get too hot or too cold, because conscious breathing can cause changes in temperatures as well. The breathing we're doing is very gentle and very soft, so there are no contraindications. I did say that our one rule is be comfortable, but it is breath work. And because it's breath work, sometimes it brings us to places that are maybe less comfortable, to places that we just don't feel particularly comfortable in. And the invitation is that you sit with that discomfort. Now, we would never ask you to push through it, and we would never ask you to get rid of it in any way. Just sit with it and see what it has for you. Sometimes just sitting with the discomfort can show us things, or can even begin to move it gently. Always knowing, however, that this is your session and you are in complete control. And if sitting with the discomfort is not something that feels right in this session, bringing your breathing back to its natural rhythm and knowing that that will all just fade away. The other thing we would invite you to do is try each of the breath styles. And you may have tried them before and maybe didn't like them when you tried them before. But again, the invitation is just try it. Sometimes we don't, well, I know for me personally, I don't like a breath style and think, oh, I don't like that one. And then I try it again and actually, I don't dislike it. So just trying the breath style and seeing how it feels, but knowing that each one is an invitation. And if what we're inviting you to doesn't sit right after you've tried it and it still doesn't feel right, you can go back to your natural breath. You can go back to any of the other breath styles we've done. Just staying present and staying with your breath as we do it. I don't think I have anything else to say. Uh, you can do this seated or you can do it lying down. If you're seated, please make sure you're properly supported. And if you're lying down, make sure if you're using a pillow, it's not too high so that it in any way obstructs your airways, because you want the breath to be able to flow nice and freely. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say. We're inviting you in this session to maybe just let go of what you have what's going on for you, and just make space. It is Sunday, so we are looking into maybe a new working week, and just probably two things in this session: making space and maybe letting go of anything we don't need to take into next week, but also resting. Also allowing our body to feel that, giving it the signals with our breath that we're safe and we can rest, and just taking this time out to rest. So just making yourself comfortable, and I will begin the so just listening to the birdsong and allowing the birdsong to do what it does, which is signal to your body that it's safe. Because our ancestors knew if they could hear the birds, there was no predators. So just allowing the birdsong to begin to do its work. And just beginning to notice. So noticing physically. What's present for you in this moment? Maybe there's tension or tightness. Maybe there's even pain. Maybe there's heat or tingling, and just noticing that. And trying not to get caught up in explaining it, or just noticing it and allowing it to be. And then noticing your mind, noticing the thoughts, if there are any. Maybe your mind's busy and buzzing full of thoughts, or maybe it's actually quiet, just a few thoughts. And noticing that without feeling the need to judge it or to criticize. And then maybe asking, how do you feel? How do you feel right now? And again, not searching too much, just allowing whatever comes and knowing that that's okay. And then bringing your attention to your breath. And just feeling the inhale and the exhale. And where do you feel the inhale and the exhale? And again, there's no need to change your breath yet. Just noticing how it is right now. And can you feel the breath moving your body? Maybe you feel your chest moving. Maybe you feel your belly moving. Maybe you feel your ribs moving at the side. Just noticing what you feel. Keeping as much of your focus as you can on your breath. Maybe you notice your breath changing just because you brought attention to it. And maybe you didn't, but just noticing that too. And the music's going to begin to fade, and we're going to go into our first time of silence. And there's nothing you need to do in the silence. Just rest.
And as the birdsong brings that first silence to a close, just noticing how it felt. How it felt to be in silence with just you and the conscious awareness of your breath. And this is not an act of judgment, this is just an act of observation, of taking notice of how you are in this present moment. And in our next segment, we are going to introduce the psychological sigh. Another way of just letting our body know that all is safe. A way of maybe feeling our diaphragm. When I do this, I'm very aware of my diaphragm at the bottom of my rib cage. And it also just signals to your nervous system that it's okay to be calm and restful. And it performs a lovely little thing of just wakening up the ends of our bronchioles in our lungs, our little alveoli sacs. So what is it? So you can do it very structurally, and you can breathe in again, and then sigh it out through an open mouth, gently sighing out. So you're inhaling through the nose, in, and sighing out. But you can also do lots of little inhales, like a and then a sigh. And when you do the lots of little inhales through the nose, it just gives your diaphragm a little shake up and you can feel it. So just try and play with it. Inhaling through the nose, double inhale at least, maybe triple, maybe lots of little, and then just letting the breath fall out. And maybe after 2 or 3, you might want to let your breath just return to its natural rhythm for a breath or so. And then come back to the sigh. Inhale, 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 exhale. And rest again with a couple of natural breaths. If that feels good to you. And then going back to the psychological sigh. And maybe on some of your sighs, you might want to bring in some sound. Still keeping your inhales staggered. So little inhales and a long exhale. And after your next exhale, you might want to just rest and pause, holding the breath at the bottom of the breath for just 10 to 15 seconds before you inhale again. We're almost in the last 30 seconds before our silence begins again. So maybe on your next exhale, just allowing your breath to return back to its natural rhythm and prepare once again to rest in the silence.
And as the birdsong begins again, just taking a few moments to reflect on that silence. Maybe it felt the exact same as the first silence, and maybe it felt very different. And just noticing that. And in our next segment, I'm going to invite you to a form of conscious, connected breathing. But if you've done conscious, connected breathing before, the invitation is a different type of conscious, connected breathing. I'm going to invite you to breathe in and out gently through your nose. Still bringing that breath down deep into your lungs, but not necessarily pulling on the inhale. Just gently inhaling and letting the exhale go. And breathing slowly and softly, but keeping your breaths connected. So letting go of the pause at the top of the inhale and letting go of the pause at the bottom of the exhale. So that your breath flows in one continuous long breath. So beginning to softly breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. And beginning to connect those breaths. So allowing the inhale just to become the exhale, and the exhale to become the inhale again. And there's no need to pull or force. There's no need to rush. Just soft, slow breaths. Keeping them conscious and keeping them connected. Maybe you see that breath as the gentle waves coming in on the shore. No pause or no stop, they just keep going. As soon as they come in, they go out again. Or maybe you see them as the seasons. One season becoming the other and no pause between them. Keeping as much of your focus as you can on your breath. And if you notice yourself being distracted, just gently bringing your focus back. No judgment, no criticism, just gently bring it back. Keeping the inhale soft and gentle. And there's no rush with it. And then just allowing the exhale to fall out. And we're in the last 90 seconds now, so maybe seeing, can you bring a little bit more focus to your breath, just a little bit more. And we're getting close to the silence, so maybe allowing your breath to come back to its natural rhythm and resting.
And as the birdsong brings the silence to a close once again, just noticing once again. Noticing anything that has changed. Notice anything that is just the same. Noticing how you feel about those two things. And in our last breath of today's session, I'm going to invite you to coherence breathing. Coherence breathing invites us to match our inhale and exhale in length. And you can do this by counting. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 2, 3, 4. Or you can do this by just feeling into your body and noticing when your when your inhale feels full, your exhale feels empty, and beginning to balance them. Just being aware, letting your body share their wisdom with you. If you don't want to count, but you would quite like something physical, then you could bring each finger to your thumb and use that as a count. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. And if the 4 count doesn't feel good to you, then maybe count to 3. Or perhaps you want to extend it and count to 5. Really listen to your body and feel what the breath is saying to you. You might even find a pattern in the music that you want to follow. Just gently letting your breath soften. Letting your mind focus on the length of the inhale and the exhale and nothing more. Gently bringing the breath in and gently letting the breath go. as we move towards the last couple of minutes, just noticing whether you could maybe add one to the count, or maybe count just a little slower. If some space and some softness has opened up in the breath. And don't worry if it hasn't, just stay with the rhythm that's working for you. I just invite you to ask the question, is there a little bit more softening available to you? Bringing all of your focus and all of your attention to the breath. A gentle inhale and a gentle exhale. And on your next exhale, just letting your breath return to its natural rhythm. And allowing yourself to soften into the silence once again.
And as this bird song begins again for the final time in this session, just taking a few moments to reflect on the last silence, but also the whole session. And what has changed since you began this session, and what's exactly the same. And now it's time to think about coming back to the physical space that you're in. And then after that, coming back to the Zoom room. So maybe introducing some gentle movement, whatever movement feels right for you right now. Maybe that's a stretch or a yawn, or maybe your wrists and your ankles, your shoulders. Just gently beginning to bring some movement in. Maybe if your eyes are still closed, thinking about gently blinking them open and looking round at familiar things. And if you're lying down, maybe rolling onto your side and taking a few breaths there before gently sitting up and coming back to join us in the Zoom room.
And while you're coming back into the Zoom room, I just want to bring your attention to some links that we've popped into the chat box. So if you've enjoyed this style of breathing, we do this every week on a Wednesday at 7:30, and you would be very welcome to join us. Our Wednesday sessions are free, but we do ask you to register so that we know who is coming. And if you wanted to do this breathwork again, or a breathwork similar to this again, we have a YouTube channel, and we also have a community that you can sign up to for free. If you sign up to the community, you get the recordings without the ads on YouTube. And of course, you can connect with Breathing Space. So the email for Breathing Space is in the chat there if you wanted to do that. And if you would like to learn how to be a facilitator, then I've also popped the links into Breathing Space's facilitator training, but also to our own. So in conjunction with Breathing Space, we also offer our version of the training. With a little bit more silence and birdsong, perhaps, than you'll find in the Breathing Space version. And of course, there is a membership for the Breathing Space All Access Pass too, where you can breathe with longer breathworks for, I think it's the second Tuesday of the month that Ben does a longer breathwork, and then the last Sunday of the month we have a longer breathwork here. And we do have our own longer breathworks and retreats too. Very excited about the launch of our retreats in Yorkshire in June. And you'll find all of the information that you'll need to if you click the buy tickets link. They're all there for you to take a look at. And finally, of course, we love to get reviews. So if you have enjoyed our session, we'd love to hear from you. You can just click that link whilst you're here in the room with us and go back to it anytime before you close your computer down and leave us a review. We'd be very happy and grateful for that. Thank you. And on that note, if you are watching the recording, I'm just going to say, well, or even if you're in the room, because I'm not going to say this again, I'm going to say, do take care of yourself. Even though this was a gentle and soft session, breathwork continues to ripple out after the event. So just take care of yourself, be aware of yourself, do some more of that noticing, and be responsive to what your body needs, whether that's kind of water, good food, kind of walking in nature, resting, whatever it is that your body needs, just taking time to respond. And on that note, I'm going to stop the recording and open the room up if anybody would like to share their experience. And equally, if you are watching on the recording, there will be somewhere here for you to share your experience if you wish to. Let me do that technical